right, my name is Christopher Reekie. I'm a high school senior. I'm an intern with Blackberry Silence, and next year I'll be studying cybersecurity at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University in Prescott, Arizona. Go Eagles. So by a show of hands, how many people in this room know at least 2 people under the age of 18 who show interest in computer science or computer programming? All right, yeah, most of you. So by a show of hands once again, how many people in this room know at least 2 people under the age of 18 who know enough about cybersecurity to explain it to you? A couple people. All right, now lastly, who in this room knows at least 2 people under the age of 18 who show interest in cybersecurity as a career? All right, very few of you. So in my experience, cybersecurity is kind of a hidden industry. And by that, I mean that it's not particularly well advertised at a college level or any level below that, nor is it taught in schools at any level below college. Wait for the next slide here. So how did I get into cybersecurity? Well, it started about 4th grade. 4th grade, I was introduced to block-based programming, which takes the logic behind written code and makes it more visually stimulating and easy to understand, which as a 4th grader is very advantageous, because I was interested in computers but not ready for written code at all. So I tinkered with this for quite a while, made some fun little projects, and eventually it got a little too easy for me. So then I moved on to some software that allowed me to integrate some more advanced block-based programming with some more basic written code. Now that was very good because that allowed me to explore the syntax and methods of written code and advance my abilities with block-based code so I could see what features I may be interested in implementing into projects in the future. I like to think I was thinking that far ahead, but maybe not. We'll see. Eventually that became a little too simple for me as well, and I ended up actually being able to find myself a mentor and starting to learn to program Arduinos, which are little chips that accept a language very similar to C, and they're generally used for robotics projects. So that was a much more complex programming language. It was the first time I dealt with fully written code, and honestly it was the hardest step in this whole path that I've had to take. But I really enjoyed it, and I ended up moving on to the next phase, which I'll call my tinkering phase, which is a phase that I'm really still in, and I hope that everyone in this room is too. In this phase, I started learning Python on my own. I bought myself a Raspberry Pi and started tinkering around with Linux and computers and really just exploring what technology and programming were capable of and what I could do by myself. So then one day, scrolling through the internet, I ended up stumbling upon a camp that advertised that it would teach me about cybersecurity. Now, at that point in time, I knew pretty much nothing about cybersecurity. And I figured this would be an interesting way to learn about a field that was related to computer science, but I hadn't really heard of before, or hadn't really explored before. And I ended up taking that camp and enjoyed the topic so much that I'm up here speaking to you today. So now you know my story of how I got interested in cybersecurity. So how can we get more students like myself into the field? Well, the first thing that I like to show people, maybe at a high school level, upper level, is this graph, this chart here. So that there's oh man, it's missing part of it. There's over 300,000 job openings in cybersecurity, which is more than mechanical engineering and computer programming. Computer programming is the second bar. Which means that there's going to be good job stability and there's going to be good pay in cybersecurity. So for those who are maybe below the high school level, I'd say get them interested in programming. You can get them into things like block-based programming or some software that integrates block-based programming with written code if they're maybe ready for that. And because programming is at a base level the start of any tech career. Thank you.